Okay, the structures and properties of triglyceride. Again, a fat is a mixture of glycerides containing a higher proportion of long-chain saturated fatty acids. So again, our sources of animal fats and oils, from our sources of animal fats and oils, we don't get them as free fatty acids. You always get them as the bounded form. They say bounded form, our source is in the triglyceride form, no? And if our source is in the triglyceride form for fats, you expect that the mixture of triglycerides is present would contain the fatty acids in the bounded form to be saturated like this, no, like kinks. For oils, you expect your triglycerides to contain a mixture of ketone fatty acids, the bonded fatty acids that has the unsaturated ketone double bonds. You can see here in this nice pink. And again, for this reason that you expect your oils, uh, the triglyceride oils na liquid is yan, no? Because again of these structures compared here, which is highly packed for saturated fatty acid contained in your triglycerides that comes from animal fats. Okay, and here is the example of the mixture of fatty acids that you can find in your animal fats and vegetable oils. So for example, no, for beef tallow, you can see a greater proportion of your oleic acid, 49%, and you have your myristic. This one is this palmitic. They are 760. This one, there is a lot of proportion of myristic and palmitic. These are saturated fatty acids, also your stearic acid. So 27, let's say 30 plus 6, 36 plus 14. No, so we add this one also. 14 plus 27, you have 341. 41 plus 6, 47. Okay, so there is a greater proportion of your saturated fatty acids. For example, for beef tallow here, your butter, human fats. Check ninyo na inyong human fats, no? You have this mixture of saturated fatty acids. It's not liquidy, of course. And then you have your lard from your animal fats. Okay, and there is a portion that is unsaturated, usually the oleic and the linoleic acid. Now, these are some sources of our omega fatty acids, right? So if you want to have your source of omega fatty acids, just eat. Just eat a lot of meat and kuan. So, mapansin niyo ng mga medyo daghay fatty acids, no? Medyo hamisig kayo sila mga now, di ba? Okay, because they actually have a greater, they would have a great source for their omega fatty acids. And so this is a proportion of the different fatty acids that again you can find in animal fats, and you have your vegetable oils. For coconut, the one that we usually use, no, at home, coconut, a greater proportion would come to have your lauric acid. No, lauric acid. This is 12 carbons, zero double bond for lauric acid. Myristic, palmitic, na stearic. So, mabantayan mo katong vegetable oil that comes from coconut. Usually matulog siya, no? Because you can see here that there is a greater proportion of your saturated fatty acid from 45, no? It's actually greater than 50%, no? So you expect your coconut oil na matulog it siya panahon sa tingtugnaw. Okay? And for corn, as you compare it to your corn oil, no, gamay ra wala siya kayo less ng ihang saturated fatty acid. In fact, a greater proportion would go to the unsaturated fatty acid. Cottonseed also, no? Linseed, peanut also. Okay, liquidy ang peanut, right? And safflower, soybean, sunflower. In fact, sa gawas, we usually use safflower, soybean, sunflower. They don't, if naman sa gawas, no, kanang mga cold countries, no, they don't usually use coconut oil. Nga naman, panahon sa winter, matulog na ang oil. Okay? So they usually use the sunflower oil. It's cheap. You have your 66-75, the greater proportion would go to the unsaturated fatty acids, the oleic and linoleic. And in fact, now the source of sunflower oil would come from Ukraine and Russia. So kabalaka na sila dito, no, sa ilang production for this source of oil. Aside from, of course, sa ilang fuel sources. What else? Soybean oil also. Okay. So, what are the other oils that you are actually using, no, as for your beauty products? And you can check. You can have kanang mga jojoba oil, kanang kachada sa inyong skin, no? And apa isa, olive oil, gibutang diri. So that will be, okay, probably an assignment. What is the percent of the saturated and unsaturated fat that you can see sa inyong mga beauty care products, no? Na that would have the oils, no? And you can actually see na sa yung beauty products, you have actually a lot of fatty acids that's being indicated in the ingredients. Okay, so you have, wala din na include ang olive oil, but you can see the olive oil actually would have a greater proportion of unsaturated fatty acids. And the only one that I know nga dali matulog is kanang coconut oil. You also have the kanang palm source, palm oil, no? So that's another question. The palm oil, asa man ang daghan, saturated or unsaturated fatty acid, is would your palm oil dali ra ba matulog in the same way that coconut oil would, no? Which one is cheaper? So that's one thing that you will weigh when you are a consumer. Sa imong gamiton, coconut, corn ba, cottonseed, no? Sunflower. Actually, when I was sa gawas, no, I was actually shocked na, oh my God, I'll be using the sunflower and not that, because you usually use the coconut or the corn oil, right? And I was thinking, I'm gonna be using the sunflower, but it's okay. Okay, di ay na sunflower. For my skin, I'm using olive oil also sometimes. And there's a lot of other sources of oil where you can rejuvenate your skin, no, because of the omega fatty acids. You can have stick, jojoba oil, others, basta tanawan ng mga beauty care products, no, per source. What is the time? I would really like to end lipids now, but since dili na tataman for today, and so that will be your assignment, no? You can check on the percent composition of the other oils and animal fats that you're using at home. For olive oil, palm oil, unsa pa yung mga oil nga ginagamit sa balay. Anyone? Anyone? Kabalo mo unsa yung ginagamit ng oil sa balay, or may check sa kusina?
Peanut, ma'am.
Peanut oil?
Sesame oil, ma'am.
Sesame oil.
Minola oil, ma'am.
Minola oil. Unsa man minola oil? Composition na ng minola, di ba? Coconut man gihapon. Tama? Okay,
Yes,
so I'd like you to check, no? So I'm gonna call maybe one of you here. I'm gonna call you and check on the composition of the oils, animal fats, and oils that you are using, even for your beauty care products. I have told you I'm using olive, another olive oil. So olive oil, even fact, olive oil, na siya sa Bible, 84.4.6. So majority actually is the unsaturated fatty acids. Okay, so kung olive oil, pinaginagamit sa gawas, no? Kay di siya matulog. Pareha sa coconut tulog. Magdala kag coconut oil, kanang mga virgin coconut oil dito sa gawas, or matulog na siya. Magdala kag lana, usually ang lana nato dito sa Pilipinas, no? Kay made up of coconut, kay mo may common coconut oil. Magdala ka ng lana, paingon sa gawas. Usually kanang mga tanong-tanong, di ba? Then ginahumol nila sa oil nga coconut oil. Matulog na napag-abot sa gawas, so matingala na ka. So ako nagdala ko before, ako bitchang i-microwave for me pag-abot sa ating tugnaw, no? Okay, matulog. Okay, so that ends our session for today. I wasn't able to finish our discussion with lipids, but I hope you learned something. I'll see you next meeting. And please do not forget to indicate your attendance in the LMS. Okay, Ramo? Do you have questions, clarifications? Murag ako rin nagyaw-yaw, no? I forgot to on the attendance. I have already created the session. Tama? Wala pa yung session.
Wala pa, ma'am.
Wala pa, ma'am.
Okay, so saan chapter 4 lipids and isa man eh, lipids lecture, second lecture natin sa lipids. Okay, so even if mag-end atong session, I will open this attendance naman 2 p.m. So please indicate your attendance up until 2 p.m. Okay, so that ends our session again. I hope you learned something today and we'll continue lipids. That should end our session next meeting for lipids. And don't forget your assignment to check on that, some oils. Okay, so that's all. Bye-bye. See you next meeting.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.